Hi, and welcome to our webinar, everyone. I'm Tobias. I'm product lead with Superchat, and I'm mainly focused on automations, AI, and looking into all the technical aspects. And yeah, I'm super excited to have this webinar today with you. We're touching upon HTTP requests, how to use them in automations, how we can send data from automations to other tools or request data, and then enrich our automations. And yeah, also obviously we look into the webhook trigger, how we can send webhook events to super chat to start automations. Yeah, do all kind of those things. Yeah, but before we get started, I'd like to do some housekeeping first. So yeah, we will record the session, and you can get a recording at the end. We have a Q&A, so we have this chat. You should be able to say hello. You can maybe, yeah, say hello. Yeah, cool. Someone like sent from London, like already some greetings. Yeah, greetings back from Berlin. Super cool. Always like ask questions if you have them right away, and I'll go through the chat. Also, we have a kind of build along session. So we have two use cases, and I go through them. And if I need to slow down or should speed up or skip some parts, then yeah, please also let me know in the chat. Yeah, and at the end we have like a larger Q&A sessions for all the questions that uh, might have come up through the session. Yeah, I think that's it for the start. So let's dive right into automations, HTTP requests, and webhook triggers. Um, Before actually looking into super chat or like jumping into super chat, I quickly share my screen, and you should be able to see like diagram or like a graph right now. So here we basically just define, okay, how we work with webhooks, how do we think about, or how do we kind of like define webhooks. So it's like we have an events happening somewhere in some other tool. It might be your CRM, it might be your Calendly, your cal.com, your scheduling tool, applicant tracking system, whatever. And then this system emits a webhook, and we catch that webhook, and it has some data usually. So we get that data, and you can work with that data in Superchat, process it, store it in contact attributes, use it for your messaging, all those kind of things. Also, it happens like, or it works for lead ads. For instance, if you have a lead coming in or a lead submitted, then basically you can also emit a webhook or a webhook event. We catch that event, and then yeah, you can work with all that data, build messaging flows, and all those kind of things. But we look into this in a second. And then we have the HTTP request action. So that is actually when in Superchat you have some messaging flow going on, and at some point you want to either send some data to your tool, like your CRM, your ATS, yeah, all those kind of tools. It really is like really depends on your actual use case, or you want to request data from another server. So that's also possible with the HTTP request action. Yeah, and to kick things off with the webhook trigger, I thought about a use case, and let's just like sketch it here very quickly. And this is really all like build along, and might be that we run into some issues and then we fix the issues and debug it. Yeah, but maybe the flow that I thought about is we can have like Calendly, and as soon as someone books a meeting with us, and an invitee basically is created, how Calendly names it, then basically we just emit a webhook and we send a booking confirmation. And then also we want to send a reminder, let's say an hour before the actual meeting. So like to really increase our show up rates to our meetings. I think that's a very handy use case for WhatsApp. We also do it internally in some cases, and yeah, have really good results with that. So people are just way more aware of like the meeting that is coming up, and they just attend the meeting because they don't forget. So it's actually, yeah, a very handy and helpful flow. And to have this, let's just say we start with Calendly, um, and then we have like a meeting booked event or something like this. We just look into this right in a second. And then basically this is a webhook. And then we just start automation in Superchat. And Superchat. And the next part would be we also want to then maybe send a message. Send a message. Well, let's say the booking confirmation. Yeah, and then also like one more thing, because I said like we want to actually also have the reminder, and the reminder is not sent within that exact automation, because let's say you cannot just do a wait pause for like 2 hours or like 24 hours, because you don't know when the exact meeting is. So what we actually want to do, we want to create a second automation where we just start like based on a date time trigger in super chat, and then if the time is there, like if we meet the time of the booking or like the event basically when this will happen, then we send a reminder. So this could be kind of like our setup for the reminder flow. And yeah, we basically just want to make sure that this is maybe minus 1 hour of like the meeting time or like the event time. And there's like, because we have to have this date time trigger here to send the reminder, we also need to make sure that once the meeting is booked and everything is in like happening inside superchat, that we somewhere store the meeting time and the meeting date basically, so that we can use this for our date and time trigger. So yeah, let's maybe add one step in here, which is update event time contact attribute. Okay, and let's reconnect it just. Okay, yeah, so this will be the first flow we look at. And the second flow, then let's just also come back to the diagram for the HTTP request action, but maybe let's just get started with the with the first flow. And because we want to use the webhook trigger, I think the very first thing we should do is jump into Superchat, create a new automation, click create from scratch, and then you should see something like this. I just rename it to webinar Calendly event booked. Yeah, something like this, so that my colleagues can recognize this if they ever like work with it, or like they want to know what it is for. So I just always give it like a descriptive name and in the beginning. And then we just click like on add trigger. And then we have like incoming webhook. And what you can see here on the right hand side is like you have a target URL. So that is where all the data is sent to. We also see we have an incoming webhook, and there currently is no webhook there. There's no data in here. And we need to change this to actually get started. So copy that target URL into your clipboard, and then let's head over to Calendly. So in here, so this is my Calendly now. It works also for cal.com. It should also work for other scheduling tools. And basically, yeah, we have this, just my event types here. So who are like for the people or who are not really familiar with Calendly. So you have certain event types, and let's just click into it. And then you have this scheduling mask or this form where you just select like a date and a time, and it's synced with your Google Calendar or Outlook Calendar or whatever. So let's just have a look at the live page. And yeah, so basically that is how it looks. As you can see here, like in order for someone to book a meeting with me, they have to put in their name, their email, and also their WhatsApp number. So the WhatsApp number is not there by default. We should really have a look in here if it's enabled or not. And by default, it is not. So you see here, like booking form, invite questions. So to get there, just click on like booking page options, and then booking form, invite questions. And then I just remove this and re-edit, add a new question, and I just select WhatsApp number. And you can also put like for reminders or something like this, if it fits your case. I set it to required and also want to make sure it's a phone number. And then I want to enable this field. So it's done. Save and close. And let's just refresh to see if it's still there. Yep, it's still there. And by default, it also picks the right country code based on like some browser settings. So for me, it picks Germany. If you're based in the UK, then it should pick like +44, for instance. If you're based in Austria, I should also pick Austria, and so on. Okay, so I have like my booking form set up. And I also need to add one more thing. So this just creates events in Calendly, but it doesn't do anything in Superchat, or doesn't even like, tell Superchat about it, does not emit webhooks. So I need to click onto integrations and apps, and then I don't see anything here. Let's just like check API. Oh yeah, then it's API and webhooks. And there you basically, you have like your personal access token. Usually there is no access token, so let's just do it together. So we have like a personal access token, get token now. Okay, continue. We do test or like webinar and create token. Now I receive an email with like with the code. Let's just check on the side what the actual code is. You should receive it to the email that you're logged in Calendly with. So let's just check what I get there. Okay, my code is 308747. And now I have my token here. Please make sure to copy and store that token somewhere securely, because it's basically like a way in your Calendly account. And for any other tool, personal access tokens usually are like just ways to your data, and like they can like just enable people to do something with your account. So it should be really stored securely. And I'll also show you later like how we in Superchat store these kind of data securely, so that you don't need to like have any concerns about security, and everything is handled like really well and appropriate. Um, so yeah, in order to kind of like get working with the Calendly API, I now have this person access token. Um, and I head over to the Calendly developer docs, and usually you can find them somewhere like API Calendly or developer Calendly, something like this. Here it's really like developer Calendly. Just Google, I don't know, whatever tool, and then API. And yeah, basically what we're looking for in this case is really webhooks. And then usually you create a subscription for a webhook, which means tell Calendly or tell your tool to give us all the events for a certain type of an event, or like you even sometimes can like have like some filters with the subscriptions, so to just like receive a subset of the events. But yeah, basically we just want to create a webhook subscription here in our demo case. And you see like I have like an auth token here. It's OAuth or bearer auth. We always need to use bearer auth with our token, because it's a personal access token, so it's like bearer. And then we can also have a look at the body. I just like zoom in. Well, didn't go too well, but here in the body we see, okay, I have this URL, which is the target URL. I have a kind of like the events. I have an organization, user, the scope. Like, do I want to get it for just a user, or do I probably get it for all organizational events that are in my organization? And the signing key. So that signing key is used to like sign the payload. It's for security reasons. You can have this, but it's optional. And pretty much what we want to do, or what I just do now, is basically I don't want to work with their form here. I just want to work with something that's called HTTP. Just head over to HTTP, just put it in like in the chat. It's free to use. You don't need to log in. You don't need to create an account. Just let me quickly share that in the. So if you're interested and want to follow along, then basically you can just also go there. And you see I have like a couple of requests in here. Let's say I just want to really delete that, all my requests, and just redo it now. So here there were some Okay, how do I do it now? So basically, I just go to first. I need to know like I have to put in like a user ID, organization ID, and all of that kind of stuff in order to like get the webhook subscription. So what I do in this case, I first get the current user, so that's me, based on the token that I send. And what you can do is just click here on this like copy icon, then paste it in, and it recognizes, oh, you want to paste the curl command. It reads out everything for you. So it even read out like this authorization stuff here. I don't want to use it there. I want to use auth bearer token, and then put in my, not the curl command, but the token, and then just hit send, and yeah, it works. Well, here I see myself basically in the API. I see, okay, that is my slug, that is the scheduling URL for my event, or for my primary event. Then I have my current organization and also the URI, which is basically my user ID in Calendly terms. Okay, so I have all this data here. I head back to the Calendly docs, create subscription, and then copy this as well and go back to HDPy, then create a new request, a draft request, copy it in, and then I'm here. And in this mask, I have like headers, authorization is filled. Actually, I just want to use the bearer auth again and then have it here. And then I also see I have this body here. I need to pre-fill it now with like, or fill in all the values so that I can actually get a subscription for my Calendly events. So first of all, I have the URL, and that is the URL from Superchat. So just copy the target URL from your Superchat automation, head back to HDPy or whatever tool. You can also use Postman or other tools. Put in your URL here. Then I basically just want to get events, and I just want to have the invite created event or invitee created event. Then I have the organization, and for the organization, I basically can go to current organizations and then just copy that value from my current user, because actually I'm just the only user in here. If you are in a team with multiple other people, should still work. You should still have just probably one organization. Get the current organization for your user or for your token, put it in here, and yeah, finally get the URI. That is my user ID in that case. So I put it in for user. Okay, then I have the scope set to user, and I don't need the signing key because I don't want to sign them, or like I'm fine with like having it unsigned, or like basically I also don't read the signature in Superchat in this automation. So I'm just like, I don't need this. I just go for send. And then basically what I can see here now is I have a webhook subscription created on that callback URL, and it's for invite created. And basically this should now end up, like all the data should now end up in this target URL. And to actually test it, let's just go to my booking page, which is a live page. I just created a, like, got reserved a slot for like February 28th this year, and then 1 to 1:30. Just put in this, like my email address, and then my WhatsApp number. Okay, so this should work. Schedule event. Okay, so this is scheduled, and in Superchat, I should probably get a webhook subscription or like a webhook event. And yeah, here it is. So pretty much I see there are lots of fields. You recognize like there are the values, and then you also get the created ad. And I see if you click on one of the rows, you basically store the output variables. So you have like all the data that is coming in, but you probably don't need all this data. So imagine you have like a webhook event or an HTTP request that works the same on both ends. That has like sends you like 400 lines of like data, and you actually want to have only like 10 or like maybe 5 of them. So you can actually save all the values here, and then you have them as output variables. We call them output variables, and then you can use them in the automation in other nodes. So to basically just have like the full payload in here. I just want to see it once. So basically what I want to do is I want to have the cancellation URL because I will later also want to give the option to cancel or reschedule. I want to have the name, which is Tobias. I added it in. Then I also have the question and answers. So I want to have the answer to my phone number field, which is here. Well, then I also want to have the event type. So here the event type, because basically if I have multiple events, let's say I have a 30-minute event and I have, I don't know, a 40-minute event or a 15-minute event, I just want to filter this flow for this particular event, perhaps. If I don't want to filter per event, it's not a problem. Like, just don't store the event type. You just don't need to filter for it. So there's no need to actually store that value as well. Well, then I also want to do I want to have something else? Yeah, sure. I want to get the rescheduling URL because I also said like I want to enable rescheduling. Do I have it here? Reschedule URL. Yep. And lastly, I also want to probably get the time of the event when it was start time. Yeah. So that is basically the time of the event. And I need this kind of like to send to, or like to store in my contact attributes, so that I basically can use it later on for the reminder. Well, so now I have this incoming webhook. I first want to filter. I want to filter by text. And let's just go back into here and to get the event. Here we have event type, and I want to get the event type as well. Just to copy that value, event type. Okay. So, okay, copied that, and then I have text in here. And I say like event time. No, I want to have event type, and event type should exactly match this one. So then I know, okay, only for this event type, the entire automation will process, and any other event that might be scheduled and I still receive the webhooks, they will just be filtered out. I can also just, for like transparency and like make it easier to understand, like filter by event type. Okay. Then I basically find a contact or search a contact because I need a contact in my automation. And I want to search based on phone number. So there I go, like for phone number, did I? Ah, probably I forgot it. Okay, let's just head back in here and it's answer. So let's maybe rename it the alias. So phone number. Okay, and then I have the phone number and just use the phone number in here. Okay, so then if the contact was found, I just want to send like a message. No, I actually want to send a template. No, I want to update the contact first. So in here, I take the contact from the search contacts tab, and then I want to update an event time, event date and time. Yeah, actually looks good. And that event date and time, that's important to know. It takes in like an event, basically a date and time attribute field, or like the data type. And what I get from Calendly is basically, it's just like a string. So it's text. In order to like really transform it, I need to have like a data conversion step in between. Let's just go, we call them formatter. So you have like format date, and then we select a date and we use event time. And yeah, desired output form is date and time. And it's from the time zone is UTC because, well, Calendly sends everything in UTC. And yeah, the input format can be everything, but I just know at this end of like on the output of this node basically is a date and time format that I can work with in Superchat. So let's just like continue and then continue in here. And just in the mapping, you see like date and time format. Okay, well, I just use this one. Perfect. So now I just quick recap. I get the incoming webhook. I filter by the event type. I search a contact. Then if I find a contact for this phone number, then basically like I format the date and I update the contact. So it might also be the case that this contact obviously is like not there in Superchat. So I also have to have this no search result path where I just create a contact. And then I go create contact, contact with phone number, use the phone number from here, and then basically update the contact. And the contact is here from create contact. And then I want to update not the phone number because I created it with phone number, but I want to update the event date and time. And well, now I see basically that I would have to have the format step is in this branch or in this path. I cannot use that in here. So what would actually make sense is to really just delete it from here, delete this from here and put it in here, because then I also just have to do it once. Okay, so, and then just connect them here. And here, let's just re-edit. Okay, format, we got this. Create contact. Okay, and then perfect. So let's quickly just reorder everything. Okay, so now I have like the search contact. If I find a contact, I update the event and time. If I don't have like a contact, I create a contact. And yeah, well, eventually I update the contact with like the date and time here as well. Okay. So lastly, I think I just want to send like a template. Let's see, because I don't have any like open conversation, so it makes really makes more sense to send a template. I have like what's the template? Let's see if I have like I don't have any templates in here. Appointment confirmation. This we are looking forward to meeting you online. Okay. I think this could work. I also have this one where I have like the reschedule and cancel here. I just use this one just like because I have it now. Okay. And then I have it twice in here. So I have the wildcard variables. So the first name. The first name is also something that we have to update because, well, we only updated the event in time. So just said like first name. And do we have the name already stored? Yes, we do. Okay. And also I have to do it from this one. First name. And then we go for name. Basically, if you want to have like, let's say you have really like now I only have a name field and currently, and I map it to my first name field to have it probably like a bit more precise and correct. You could just do like a first name and a last name field in Calendly and then map them to the right, to the right field in Superchat, or you just go like with the first name field for now. That's a simpler approach. And also you have like one form field less. Basically, it's really depending on what you want to do and if it at all like impacts the conversion of your form. That's something maybe to like check in more detail and a bit later once you got this running. Well, so I have like this update contact, the create contact, and now send the message templates. And I also need to add the wildcards in here. So for the first wildcard, I want to use this reschedule URL. And here I want to use the cancel URL. And I want to do the same in here. So first is the reschedule URL, and then it's the cancel URL. So I have them in plain text here. You also can just like create a template with multiple buttons where they just have like a quick reply button, cancel, and then you ask why they want to cancel, and then you provide a cancel URL, or like there's any kind of variation and extension to this basic workflow here that you can think of. Yeah, that's kind of like the way how this would work. Yes, let's just publish. Oh, okay. I see I have to fill in like the contact from create contact and then see. Okay, so this one is being published. And yeah, I think there's one more step that we need to do. It's pretty much like we need to also create the reminder flow really quick. And the reminder flow is basically a date and time trigger. Now we need to select the date and time attribute that you actually want to use. And I think as event date and time, that is the one we used before. And then we want to set like a distance to the date and time I selected here because we want to have it a bit earlier. So it's earlier and it's 1 hour, yeah, 1 hour before. We don't want to repeat it every day. And also, we don't want to trigger it only once per contact because it could be that, let's say, we have like multiple events and they all like, let's say, are in an interval of like 2 weeks or so. Then the event date and time will be updated and you can reuse that flow to always basically send the reminder of like, hey, we are having um, an appointment or a meeting right now or like in an hour. So I would not do this like once a contact. I would not toggle this on. Um, well, then I think we have the contact from the date and time. And yeah, and then we have like the send WhatsApp template node in here. Okay. And then basically, do I have like a reminder in here? No, it doesn't look like it. Then let's just create a reminder quickly. Okay, so I go from template, event reminder, utility. English is working well for our purpose here. And then let's just say like, hi there. I'm looking forward to our meeting in an hour. Please let me know in case you cannot make it in time. Best. Okay, I have like a very basic draft in here, and I just want to use AI to kind of like make it sound a bit nicer and like improve my writing style. And just want to change the style here. I want to make it like friendly. Sounds good. I'm reading. Okay. Yeah, sounds good actually. And then maybe let's also personalize it. So hi, and then just I use the slash command here, and then we have like first name because I know for the people that or like the persons that book a meeting with me, I also always update the first name attribute. So the first name always is set. I can work with that. Yeah, should be super handy. If to just like have some personalization in here, and also if you just want to um, reuse it in other places. You could also just say like current user, the full name. No, just use the first name of my current user. Yeah, so that should work. Just submit it for review, and this will probably take a little while. So once it's there, you would also see like a reminder in here. Like it will probably take some time to get reviewed and approved. We can maybe look at the end if it's there, and then we can finalize this flow here. Okay, well, let's just keep that one in draft and just say like webinar event reminder. Okay, perfect. Well, is it already? Yep, has been approved already. So let's do it right away. And there we have like event. Okay, is it in here? The medium monkey. Let's check where maybe I put it in there. Okay, what's the event reminder? Let's check why I couldn't find it earlier. It should be there. Okay. Oh yeah, now it is there. Okay, now I see like, hi, first name. I'm really looking forward to your meeting in an hour. If anything comes up, okay, well, yeah. So here, I think this should just work, and we can just go with that. You can also like add like quick reply buttons to it if you want to basically have like start a flow. I said earlier, where they maybe want to reschedule or cancel or something like this. Well, I think from like a raw perspective, and like really like just to have it roughly done, I think that should work. And yeah, we have like the scheduling and the reminder flow set up. Yeah, let me quickly check in the chat if there are any questions. No, all good so far. Okay, then like mining the time bit, let's also look at the HTTP request action. So this is like all like what we talked about so far is really for like the webhook trigger. So you can send event from any tool, like also deal stage changes in Pipedrive. I don't know, like applicant like status changes in your ATS. So basically, if you want to say like this applicant was moved one stage forward, and you want to schedule like a new meeting with them, or like a second interview or a third interview, then you can just let them know on WhatsApp, and based on this webhook trigger, you send a template letting them know, and even maybe scheduling a meeting or starting a meeting scheduling flow. Yeah, so this would all work with the webhook trigger. Same as or like for leads that you gather through some forms, you can also use web forms to basically trigger the webhook. So basically, in your website, you add a form, and on submit, you send an HTTP request to our webhook trigger URL, and then you receive all the data from there. And yeah, you can just work with that and start a WhatsApp flow. Cool. Yeah, let's just quickly jump into a new automation for the HTTP request. And the thing that I thought about was like there are also like endless possibilities. What you can do with an HTTP request, you can just send data to Make or to Zapier and trigger stuff there. You can also send data right to Pipedrive, to Shopify, and so on. You can request data from there. Yeah, let's just have a look what's possible, and then I have like a more like a bit simpler flow to work with. And yeah, we can just go through this. And yeah, if there are more like advanced questions, then obviously we can take them in the Q&A. Yeah, but first of all, let's build a flow where we have like voucher codes, and we want to have unique voucher codes like per person. And they send us like contact send us a message. They probably like scan the QR code, they click the link, like a WhatsApp me link, and then they have like some message text in there to start this promo flow or like get voucher code flow. So yeah, we can just do like contact scans QR code. At the end, this like these three are like more or less the same. If it doesn't really matter for or like what you select exactly, because it will always be like you get like a new incoming message on a channel, and then also you filter for message content, whether it might be link or whether it's like a parameter in the link that is behind the QR code. And once you click on publish, you can also get the QR code for that automation. So you can download it and use it in your materials, put it on your website, put a link on your website. So all of that is possible. Pretty simple. Yeah, let's get started here. So for the incoming message, I first reduce the number of channels that I want to trigger that's on to just this channel basically. And then let's go for the messaging content is like, let's say we want to do like promo, some either like some simple word, can be tailored to your needs. But yeah, I just go with promo, for instance. And then let's just basically do a little quiz before people can get a voucher code. And yeah, I just use like quick replies here. Um, Hi there. Great that you want to take part in our like, let's say discount code or discount quiz. I don't know. We just refine it later on by AI anyway. I want to take part in our discount quiz. Answer the question correctly and receive a 20% discount to use in our web shop. Doesn't really need to be in your web shop. It can also be just like some discount code that you, I don't know, they call you and say like, hey, I took part in that promo and I have this voucher code. And then you have like a list or a table like in Excel or yeah, some cloud-based tables where then your agents can look and check if the voucher code is valid and yeah, all of that. So yeah, basically just let's go with this and receive a 20% discount. Okay, and then we also need to put in the question, obviously, as in which year was Superchat founded? I don't know, like some question that's more probably like relevant for you. You can put in here, but yeah, let's just go with a simple example and like just change style and put it friendly again. Uh, Yep, sounds good. And then let's go with the answers: 2020, 2021, and 2022, perhaps. Okay, and we also want to make sure that users can only answer with a quick reply action, and they just have like a single shot, so no other retry. Um, and then let's say they answer correctly. In that case, we want to uh, get a voucher code for them, send them the voucher code, and then yep, all good. If they did not answer that question correctly, maybe you want to give them like a fallback question where they still could get the voucher code. Or we just say like, hey, maybe next time you got more luck and can participate or get a voucher code at the end. Yeah, so I think that's kind of like just a simple demonstration flow. Yeah, so basically uh, for the correct answer, we now want to send an HTTP request in order to create or get a voucher code. So what is the idea behind like voucher codes, or like how can we like implement this in the most simple or like the simplest way possible? And basically what we can do, we can just like have a list of like voucher codes, and yeah, whenever someone gets that voucher code or like fetches that voucher code, we just put that voucher code in another status that is maybe used or something like this. And then the next time someone yeah, checks or like gets the right answer, we do it for the next voucher code. Okay, so first of all, we have this HTTP request here, and we actually want to use make to go to like some tool, fetch voucher codes and give the voucher codes back. You can also go to that tool directly, so you could also go to Airtable, as you can see here. So let's just re-add this. So down here we have like a few integrations that are HTTP requests, but they are actually pre-filled with some data. So let's say for Airtable, we have like create a record or get a record, and then you have this pre-filled. So it's a get request. You have to put in your base ID, table ID, a name. You also have the docs for for this action in Airtable, and then yeah, pretty much like if you would also like have like some static data that you always get back from some API that always returns the same data, we would also like have the safe variables already put in here for you. You can always add or change this data. It's just like gives you a head start of like working with a couple tools that are like very popular from on our platform. But yeah, maybe let's just go with the make one. So we start a scenario and make. And yeah, and here I see like I have to replace it with my make webhook URL. So yeah, let's just go to make, and yep, here I am. Create a new scenario. Okay, and then go webhooks and webhook. No, not webhook response, just webhooks. Custom webhook. Well, need to do it again. Okay. No, throws me back. Perfect. Okay, well, custom webhook, and then I basically want to add a new hook. It's like Toby webinar voucher codes. And then usually what I do is, because I have like we have lots of scenarios running, I usually put in the URL at the end so people know, okay, this is in like my workspace, Toby staging, and this is in my workspace, and then they know where to find this. And if they want to change something, they know where to go. Okay, save, and then copy address to clipboard, and we go back to Superchat. You can close that one, and yeah, update the URL here, and yeah, let's just hit a test. Okay, cool. It seemed to have worked perfect. I see here there's still an error, but save. Okay, and then maybe just run this module only and hit test again. Okay, perfect. I see field 1, value 1, field 2, value 2. Well, what I want to do is basically I want to get a voucher code, and maybe I also want to store when it was received, or like when or who requested that voucher code. So I just say like contact ID, and then I have like I map in a value from my contacts. So I have like contact ID from your incoming message. So that is the contact. Um, yeah, and I think that should be it. I have to put in like a sample value, do it like this, and then basically send it over to make. Do it again. Okay, run the scenario again, run this module only. And I see here, use existing data. Yeah, let's use existing data and see, yeah, okay, contact. There I have it. Perfect. But the thing is, as you can see, I only get back like accepted as a response and no voucher code. So I have to get the voucher code. And what I use here, I use rows. It's like a form, like a row tool, or like yeah, basically like a table tool. And I already have my connection in here. So if you don't have that, just go to rows.com. You can also use any other tool like Sheets, Airtable, Excel Online. All of that works the same. I just created this in preparation. So just like, because it's very simple to use and it's like a EU company. So like you don't have to handle like so many GDPR things. If that's like very important for you, then sometimes it makes it easier to have like a company that's based in the EU. It's just very simple, like table tool where you can just create tables, some calculations, and yeah, pretty much that's it. So I have this codes table prepared in here. I have like some codes I just generated by like giving me a random number, then creating a hash out of this number, and then only taking like the first 10 characters, because well, my voucher code shouldn't be too long anyway. And you can also, like, the thing here is you can also use like lowercase, uppercase, doesn't really matter because it's like case insensitive, and it makes it just easier to handle. Yeah, well, so I have this table in here. You see I have a status, I have a requested add and a requested buy field. So what I want to do now, I like go to voucher codes. I have this connected so it knows like, okay, what spreadsheets do I have? I have the spreadsheet that's called like voucher codes here. I have the codes table. And then, yes, it contains headers. And actually, I only want to get like one row. And also, I want to get the first row where the status is open. So status is open. Okay, save. Maybe run this module only. Oh yeah, well, so it got me this code, status is open, the row number, and so on. Yep, and then basically what I want to do is I want to set this to use now. So I go to rows again and then update a row. Now I need to wait for the data to load. So in voucher codes, then probably use codes as a table. The row number, so I map in the row number here because, well, it's the row number that I just searched for. And it contains headers. Okay. And now I have the values. So the code, I just re-add the code because basically if I don't add this, it will just override it with null. So basically we'll delete the code, which is not so handy if you want to later on search for that code and then check if the voucher is basically, yeah, who belongs to the voucher or who used that voucher, all of that. So here I want to set it to use the status, then I want to request it add. I can just use a make built-in function, which is now. And yeah, lastly, I want to set requested by, and that is the contact ID. So I know like which super chat contacted or like, yeah, used it. And also like just like a bit more advanced thing, I can also just put in a URL to my super chat account with the contact ID. So I can just click on the row and then, so I have like contacts. So we always have like one URL where just like view is is like this, and then it's basically a URL that leads you directly to the contact. Let's just like double check this. So we just go to contacts. We get the URL in here, so we see, oh yeah, it's contacts. And let's go to this one, and we see here we have like there's a nice contact ID, and we have like contact ID is selected contact ID is the query parameter. So let's just like copy that one and use it. Okay, so in here I have that it's not view, it's selected contact ID, and then just one question mark. And I have to use staging because I'm working on staging right now because they're all like test data and stuff. So yeah, it's way easier for me. But if you have like production, just use like the app.superchat.de. Okay, and yeah, finally we updated the row now. And I want to also send a webhook response. And in the body, I now want to send JSON, and I want to send my voucher code. Okay, voucher code. And the voucher code is basically the code from the search table. And then I think I don't need anything else for my purpose here. I just saw advanced headers, and I just sent the content type to application JSON. So I'm doing this in order to really let our application, let Superchat know, well, what you're getting is JSON now. So this kind of format in here just makes it easier to handle. Also, like further down the line, because we parse like JSON natively in the sidebar, so it's just way easier to do that. Yeah, and that's the whole flow in Make. I think let's just run it once. Let's send a test and then see what we get back. Well, we got back a voucher code and it's here, and I have to save it. Same as with the webhook trigger. And yeah, now I'm good to go to use that voucher code. And let's just send a message. Great, that's correct. Uh, Here's your voucher code to use in our web shop. Maybe like the voucher code to get a 20% discount. And then just use this and search for voucher code. Okay, voucher code, here we go. You can obviously make this like a bit prettier and like extend on that, but yeah, that's kind of like it, I think conveys the concept of like how you can work with the data. You send a request, you do some more complex stuff, maybe in Make, or maybe sometimes it's easier to just do something there. You can also obviously use the HTTP trigger, the HTTP action to yeah, just do it directly in rows. But there's a bit more code, so it really depends on your use case and what you actually want to do. And yeah, well, then you get back a voucher code. We can also just could refine this by AI now, but I think for this purpose, it's really um, just like I think gives you the idea of what you can do. Yeah, so that is kind of like the things, and only a part of the things that you can do with the HTTP request action, as well as the webhook trigger. And you obviously also can combine these two. Makes it really, really powerful. And yeah, I'm looking forward. If you have any questions, and obviously looking forward to see what you're building with that. Um, okay, well, I broke my. Okay, well, sorry that the screen wasn't visible for a while. Let's. I just go through this very quickly again. So here we have the incoming message where someone sends us like a promo code or like a promo message. And basically, we listen to the content of promo. And if someone sends promo, we start the promo flow. And in our promotion flow or in our quiz. Basically, we just send a question of like, hey, to get a 20% discount code for our web shop, please answer the question. And we give like 3 options. We have this like, and if the right option was selected, then we basically send a HTTP request to make. So in here you see like there's this make thing. We can also just go to like any like integration that we have here, or just use the plain HTTP request. And in the plain HTTP request, we can just like fill in everything that we want to send, like all the details. We can add authentication. For authentication, basically, we have like, I have already like some authentication methods connected, but you can just click on add authentication, and then you can select between like API key, where you can select like the key name and the value and set a name. You can also set whether you want to send it in the header or the query. The same is for like basic auth, where you use username and password, and bearer token. You can also set a bearer. You enter the token here, and then you have the name of the token. You always use something like bit descriptive, so that people know basically what it is, and if they can use it or maybe should not use it. And one thing to note with the bearer token is like we always prepend like bearer, so you really just have to put the token in here, and we do all the rest. So this is for the authentication. Just remove everything in here, and then finally, as a result from like the make scenario, I get the voucher code and I can send the voucher code. And also, quick recap on the make scenario. So I just get a webhook with the data I can see here. So basically, I send the contact ID from my automation. I go to rows, and in rows, I like search for basically search for a voucher code, or the first voucher code from the top that still has the status open. Then I update that and set it to like used. And then I return that voucher code to Superchat. And then I can work with that voucher code in Superchat. So sorry for that the screen recording stopped. But hope this quick recap gave you like a brief idea of what the like a whole thing that we're just building. Okay. Yeah, I think then we are also like at the end of this webinar. And thanks for joining in. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to our live support. If you hit any barriers, they're also super helpful, and happy to help you. And I'm really looking forward again, like what you're building with Superchat, with the HP request and webhook trigger. Like you can do so many things, and just super excited to see what you're doing with that. And have a great rest of the week, and then hopefully see you soon.